Yes, you read the title correctly, folks. Today, I am going to be going over my favorite album from every year. Well, not every year. That'd take a little bit of a long time. So we're just doing my favorite album from the 2000s. So we're going from 2000 to now. I want to put an emphasis on the word favorite. All right. I'm not saying these albums are objectively the best. I'm just saying they're my personal favorites. So, I encourage you to leave your own list in the comment section down below because chances are you're probably not going to agree with me. All right, for 2000, we have the Marshall Mathers LP by Eminem. I know, I already hear you right now saying, oh, what about Kid A by Radiohead? Don't get me wrong, great album, but I don't even think that's Radiohead's best album. We'll get to that later in the video, but I think the Marshall Mathers LP is Eminem's best album. It is the cream of the crop when it comes to Eminem. Great lyricism and flow and some of the best storytelling I've ever heard on a rap album. For 2001, we have Is This It by The Strokes. This album means a lot to me. I love this album. I first discovered this album maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, and it hasn't left my rotation. You could play this album in any type of scenario and it would be enjoyable. Tracks like Hard to Explain, The Modern Age, Someday, which I mentioned in my Songs That Make Me Float video. A lot of stuff to enjoy here. 2002 was a little bit of a hard one because honestly, there wasn't much that really intrigued me. I mean, there was the Eminem Show, which is a really good album, but I don't want to give another pick to Eminem, so I'll give 2002 to By the Way by Red Hot Chili Peppers. This album has grown on me so much. I feel like it's Red Hot Chili Peppers' best album, not gonna lie. I mean, they just blend so many of the elements that work on their past albums into this album, and it works so well. This album is Red Hot Chili Peppers at their most introspective and melodic. For 2003, we have Get Rich or Die Tryin' by 50 Cent. This is a very passionate and raw album. This album was an absolute hit. It had club bangers and radio hits, but they were club bangers and radio hits with meaningful lyrics. This album just has so many iconic quotes and iconic songs that it just has to be on the list for me. Next, we have 2004. 2004 was stacked. I mean, they were eating good in 2004. You obviously had The College Dropout by Kanye West, which is iconic. Especially for me personally, that was like the first rap album that I really ever gravitated to. You also had American Idiot by Green Day, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge by My Chemical Romance, which I just listened to like a couple days ago, but I did enjoy it. But a man who had a great 2004 was MF Doom. I mean, he had Food and Mad Villainy, but I'm gonna give 2004 to Mad Villainy. This is one of the best rap albums ever. Madlib and MF Doom really cooked here. I mean, there is top tier production, some of the best production I've ever heard in a rap album. Insane samples. This album's very sample heavy in a good way, and just all around super creative, very creative album by Madlib and MF Doom. I recommend it. For 2005, I'm gonna have to give it to Demon Days by Gorillaz. This is a great album that blends so many genres. You got alternative rock, hip hop, electric sort of feel. The production is great. Very unique album. Very influential album. I mean, there's a reason that this album is still really popular to this day. Honorable mention to Late Registration by Kanye. Besides for those 2 albums, there really wasn't much in 2005, at least for me personally. For 2006, we have Whatever People Say I Am, That's What I'm Not by Arctic Monkeys. I just discovered this album not too long ago. Yes, I'm late, very late to the party, but I kind of listened to all the Arctic Monkeys albums backwards, and low-key, the more I listen to it, this album might be my favorite out of their discography. An indie rock feel that's very catchy, a lot of great writing, fun lyrics, energetic. I like this album a lot. Enjoyable tracks like I Bet You Look Good on the Dance Floor, Marty Bum, When the Sun Goes Down. Very good album with insane replayability. For 2007, we have In Rainbows by Radiohead. I told you guys in the first entry, we were getting some Radiohead. I'll be pretty brief with this because I've talked about this album before, and you've probably heard people glaze it before, but it's just a very enjoyable album. If you're looking for experimental rock with like kind of an electronic type of feel, this album is like a must go. This entire album gives off sort of like a cinematic type of feel. Weird Fishes, Jigsaw, Falling into Places, House of Cards. So many enjoyable tracks here. This album is iconic for a reason. For 2008, we have 808s and Heartbreak by Kanye West. This album was so experimental and different, especially compared to what Kanye was known for at that time, and he delivered. Very emotional and vulnerable album from Kanye, and probably one of the most influential rap albums. It's kind of a rare thing where auto-tune actually elevated it, and I feel like this was kind of a turn where auto-tune started to become more tolerable and enjoyable. Some people used it to a good advantage. On the topic of albums that were kind of influenced or just in the same sort of feel as 808s and Heartbreaks, for 2009, we have Man on the Moon, The End of Day by Kid Cudi. This album dives into and explores so many groundbreaking themes: anxiety, loneliness, self-discovery. The production is insane, especially growing up. This album was always in the rotation for me. Kid Cudi, Man on the Moon. I mentioned earlier how College Dropout was one of the first albums that I really gravitated to. Man on the Moon by Kid Cudi is definitely up there. For 2010, there's obviously, Plastic Beach by Gorillaz, which was a great album, but I'm going to have to go with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy by Kanye West. This album dives into Kanye's fame and his personal demons that he's fighting with, and it's just a great blend of hip-hop, a little bit of rock, and kind of like classical feel. This is an iconic rap album. The production is insane, and 2010, I feel like it has to go to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. For 2011, we have Take Care by Drake. So many classic songs here. HYFR, Lord Knows, The Real Her. Of course, Over My Dead Body, which, every time I hear that intro, my heart sinks with nostalgia. One of the best intros out there. I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I feel like this album was when Drake was at his hungriest. It's not a long, bloated album at all. This album has pretty much next to no skips. It's very cohesive, and I would definitely recommend it. For 2012, we have Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar. This is an album that I've talked about a lot and hyped up a lot, so I'll keep it pretty brief. This album covers so many themes: gang violence, poverty, but I feel like the main one is struggles with peer pressure, and there's just so much themes that he dives into. It's one of the most versatile rap albums. Mad City is a great hype-up track, same with Backseat Freestyle. You also have Poetic Justice, which is an absolute vibe. You have Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst, which that song's just emotional. I could go on for days and days about how much I love this album, but we have other things to do. Let's move on. 2013, there wasn't much. It was kind of a struggle to find anything, but we do have Random Access Memories by Daft Punk, which is probably one of my favorite disco and funk albums ever. I feel like this album was just meant to be nostalgic, and it definitely delivered on that. It has like a technology and nostalgia sort of feel, and it also has a lot of vibes and just like dance floor anthems. For 2014, we have 2014 Forest Hills Drive by J. Cole. This album is very introspective, personal. It's a personal album for J. Cole. There's a lot of honest lyrics and songwriting. This is probably one of the more down-to-earth and relatable rap albums out there. Some standout tracks are Apparently January 28th. You also have, of course, No Role Models, and probably my favorite out of this album, Love Yours. That song will always stick out to me. 2015 was a stacked year for music. I mean, you had If You're Reading This, It's Too Late by Drake, Beauty Behind the Madness by The Weeknd, Currents by Tame Impala, but my pick here has to be To Pimp a Butterfly by Kendrick Lamar. One of the most creative and driven rap albums. Lyrically, it's amazing. One of the best blends of jazz, funk, and hip-hop. So many great tracks. All Right, I, You, These Walls, Wesley's Theory. I mean, there are pretty much no skips on this album. You also have King Kunta, which is a great song. I mean, have you heard that song mashed up with Billie Jean by Michael Jackson? First time I heard that mashup, I felt like I was floating. Overall, Kendrick delivered on this album, most definitely. For 2016, we have Blonde by Frank Ocean. This album is really good. I mean, it covers themes like love, nostalgia, identity. This is such a vulnerable album from Frank Ocean. This album has the emotional, sad songs that you cry to in the shower. It has the vibey songs that you could throw on a summer morning at the beach. I mean, it's a very versatile album that's just stood the test of time. 2017 was a pretty good year for music. I mean, a lot of albums I could go with here. You have Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator. You have Control by SZA. You have Damn by Kendrick Lamar. But my pick here is 444 by Jay-Z. One of the best retirement albums of all time. Jay-Z went out with a bang on this album. The title track 444 is a must listen. You also have Caught Their Eyes with a feature from Frank Ocean. You also have Family Feud with a feature from Beyonce. I mean, this album has it all. It is a deep album. It is a vulnerable album. Jay-Z cooked with this album. For 2018, we have Swimming by Mac Miller. This album has great production, deep and real lyricism. Come Back to Earth, 2009, Small Worlds, Self-Care, Wings. This album has a deep emotional lyrics and songwriting, the type of stuff you love to see in an album. You got the realism. For 2019, we have Igor by Tyler, the Creator. One of the most creative rap albums I've ever seen and heard. I mean, from the lyrics to the storytelling to the music videos. This album manages to tell a kind of sad and emotional story with insane instrumentals, insanely hyped up and fun instrumentals. This is an unforgettable rap album. It's starting to become iconic, from the album cover to the blonde bowl cut wig that Tyler sports. I mean, this is just an album that people are going to be talking about, and they haven't stopped talking about 6 years from now. For 2020, we have Alfredo by The Alchemist and Freddie Gibbs. Freddie Gibbs, of course, his name is a tribute to both Freddie and Gibby from iCarly. I don't know if that's true. I just read that somewhere. That would be really cool if it was true. But anyway, let's talk about Alfredo. It's a great album. Freddie Gibbs' flow on this album, just for the entire album, is insane. The production and backdrops provided by The Alchemist is just insane. Creative, fun, witty lyricism, marked with great instrumental. What is there not to love here? Alfredo is a great album. To be fair, there wasn't much for 2020, but Alfredo stands out. Now for 2021, we have Donda by Kanye. So many themes explored in this album, like family, faith, and grief. Great features. I mean, Andre 3000 on Life of the Party really stands out for that category. The rollout for this album was insane. Kanye had a clear creative vision with this album, and he just delivered. That's all I gotta say. Donda 2, let's just not talk about that. Now we have 2022. it was a great year, especially for rap. They were eating good in 2022. They were fed well. Of course, you have Kendrick Lamar with Mr. Morale. Definitely one of my favorite albums of the decade so far. Any other year, Mr. Morale probably would have had that in the bag. But we have The Forever Story by JID. The first time I heard this album, I swear I added like the whole entire album to my playlist. Pretty much all the tracks on here are playlist worthy. Not many skips. JID just delivers with hardcore, raw rapping abilities. Lyrically, it's great. Production-wise, it's great. This album really got JID's name out there. For 2023, I'm going to have to go with Let's Start Here by Lil Yachty. This was an absolute surprise for rap fans. I mean, it was definitely creatively a lot different when it comes to Lil Yachty's previous work. This album just works so well in so many ways. The production is insane. A lot of great tracks here. Running Out of Time, Paint the Sky, Say Something, and then Drive Me Crazy, which is a great song, great production. I mean, this was definitely artistically a huge jump for Lil Yachty. Drive Me Crazy kind of gives off like a Mac Miller vibe in a way. Let's Start Here just works in so many ways. Yachty delivered. Obviously, honorable mention to Utopia by Travis Scott, but I think I'm going to go with Yachty here. Now for 2024, there were a lot of honorable mentions. You know, you had Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q, Brat by Charlie XCX, GNX by Kendrick. But my pick here is Chromacopia. Tyler, the Creator, delivered here with storytelling, good rapping abilities, and R&B. I mean, it's all you could really ask for in a Tyler, the Creator album. It's intense. It's got emotion. He kind of mixes the singing and vocals that were so loved on Igor and the rapping abilities that he's known for, you know, on albums like Call Me If You Get Lost and Flower Boy and his older work, and it just works pretty well. Chromacopia was my personal favorite album in 2024, and now we're here, 2025, the current year, in case you didn't know that. We're about halfway through, and I'm not going to have a, consensus answer yet. It's looking like Hurry Up Tomorrow by The Weeknd might run away with it. Balloonerism by Mac Miller could definitely use a shout out. But there's still some stuff that's going to come out in the fall. You know, you got JID dropping an album in August. You never know what could happen. Still got some time. I'm not going to run away with anything in 2025 yet. Comment down below your own list. Anyways, I'll stop yapping. I'm tired. Thanks for tuning in. Love you. Adios. Bye.